She texted, "Don't be mad, but I used your card to book a weekend trip with my ex. We just needed closure." I replied, "Closure's important." That night, I called the bank, marked the charges as unauthorized, and canceled the card. When the hotel called her the next morning asking for a new payment method, her ex's face said everything. "I'm 30, work as a senior analyst at a consulting firm, and until last week I thought I had a good relationship with my girlfriend of 3 years. Her name was Rebecca. We met through mutual friends at a barbecue, hit it off immediately, and moved in together after about 18 months. She worked in event planning, made decent money, but I earned significantly more. That became relevant pretty quickly. Rebecca had this habit of borrowing my credit card. It started small, grabbing coffee on my card when hers was in her other purse, ordering takeout when she'd left her wallet at work. I never minded. We were partners. Which mine is yours, right? But over time it escalated. She'd use my card for her hair appointments, her shopping trips, weekend brunches with friends. I noticed, but I didn't say anything. I loved her. I trusted her. I thought we were building a life together. Her ex's name was David. They dated for 2 years before me, broke up badly according to her. She said he was emotionally unavailable, that the relationship had been toxic, that she'd spent months in therapy getting over him. She told me all this on our 4th date, and I appreciated the honesty. She said she hadn't spoken to him in over a year when we started dating. That should have been true. Last Tuesday evening I was at the gym after work, doing my usual routine. Around 7 p.m. my phone buzzed. Text from Rebecca. "Hey babe, don't be mad, but I used your card to book a weekend trip. I know it's weird, but hear me out. David reached out last week and we've been talking. We both realized we never got proper closure after our breakup and it's been weighing on us. We're going to spend this weekend at a resort upstate, just to talk through everything and finally close that chapter. I know you'll understand. You're the most mature, emotionally intelligent guy I've ever dated. Love you." I read that text 3 times while standing in the middle of the gym. People were walking around me. Music was blaring. Someone asked if I was using the bench press. I didn't hear any of it. She used my credit card to book a romantic weekend getaway with her ex-boyfriend, and she had the audacity to call me emotionally intelligent as some kind of justification. I didn't call her. I didn't text back immediately. I finished my workout, went home, showered, and sat on the couch for an hour just processing. Rebecca wasn't home. She was at her friend Monica's place, or so she'd said that morning. At 9 p.m., I finally replied, "Closure's important. Have a good time." She texted back within seconds. "Thank you so much for understanding. I knew you'd get it. We're leaving Friday morning. I'll be back Sunday night. Love you so much." I stared at that message. Then I opened my banking app. The charges were right there. Grand Summit Resort and Spa. Friday check-in, Sunday check-out. Deluxe King Suite with mountain view, $1,200. She'd also charged a dinner reservation at some fancy restaurant attached to the resort. Another $200 deposit. $1,400 for a weekend trip with her ex, using my money. I called my bank's fraud department at 9:30 p.m. "Hi, I need to report unauthorized charges on my credit card." The representative was professional and efficient. I explained that someone had used my card without permission to book travel accommodations. She put a hold on the charges immediately and started the dispute process. Then she canceled my card and said a new one would arrive in 5 to 7 business days. "Is there anything else I can help you with tonight?" she asked. "No, that's everything. Thank you." I hung up and went to bed. I slept better than I had in months. Update: one Friday morning, Rebecca left the apartment at 8 a.m. I was already up, drinking coffee, pretending to read emails on my laptop. She came into the kitchen with her weekend bag, all smiles. "I'm heading out," she said, leaning down to kiss my cheek. "Thank you again for being so cool about this. It really means a lot." "Of course," I said. "Drive safe." She left. I watched from the window as she got into David's car. a silver BMW I'd never seen before. He didn't get out to help with her bag. She threw it in the back seat herself, and they drove off. I went to work like it was any normal Friday. Attended meetings, reviewed reports, had lunch with a coworker. My phone stayed silent all morning. At 11:47 a.m. my phone exploded. 5 missed calls from Rebecca, 8 texts. Call me now. What did you do? The hotel just called and said the card was declined and they need a new payment method. Are you seriously doing this right now? Answer your phone. I was in a meeting. I silenced my phone and kept it face down on the conference table. At 12:30, when the meeting ended, I had 14 more texts and 3 voicemails. I listened to the voicemails in my office with the door closed. First voicemail, 11:52 a.m. Hey, so the hotel said your card isn't working. Can you call them and fix it? We're literally standing in the lobby. This is so embarrassing. Call me back. Second voicemail, 12:03 p.m. Okay, this isn't funny anymore. The hotel is saying the card was reported as fraudulent and they can't process it. Did you cancel it? Please tell me you didn't cancel it. David is pissed. Just call me. Third voicemail, 12:18 p.m. You know what? I get it. You're mad. You're being passive-aggressive. But this is really immature. We're about to get kicked out of the hotel lobby. David had to book us a motel down the road and he's really upset about it. We'll talk when I get home. I can't believe you're doing this. I deleted all 3 voicemails. Then I texted her back. Card was compromised. Bank canceled it. Sorry for the inconvenience. She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted, compromised? Are you kidding me right now? You did this on purpose. Me. I reported unauthorized charges. That's what you're supposed to do. Her. Unauthorized? I'm your girlfriend. You told me I could use your card whenever I needed. Me. For groceries and emergencies. Not for romantic getaways with your ex. Her. This isn't romantic. We're getting closure. Me. At a couple's resort with a king suite and candlelit dinners? That's a weird kind of closure, Rebecca. She didn't respond for 20 minutes. Then, you're being really controlling right now. I'm allowed to have closure with my ex if I need it. David and I are just friends. Me. Then David can pay for the hotel. Her. He already had to pay for the motel. This is humiliating. Everyone in the lobby was staring at us. Me. Sounds like a good bonding experience for you two. She stopped texting after that. I assumed they'd checked into whatever motel David had found and were proceeding with their closure weekend. I didn't hear from her again until Sunday evening. Update 2. Rebecca came home Sunday night around 9 p.m. I was on the couch watching a documentary about ocean life. She walked in, dropped her bag by the door, and stood there staring at me. We need to talk, she said. Okay, I said, not looking away from the TV. Can you turn that off? I muted it. Then I looked at her. She looked exhausted. Her hair was messy, her makeup smudged, and she was wearing the same outfit she'd left in on Friday. That was the worst weekend of my life, she said. The motel David found was disgusting. There were stains on the carpet. The shower barely worked. We couldn't even go to the restaurant because the reservation was tied to the hotel booking. We ended up eating at a diner both nights. David was furious the entire time. He said I should have made sure the payment would go through before we left. We barely talked about our relationship because he was so mad. Sounds rough, I said. That's all you have to say. What do you want me to say? An apology would be nice, she shouted. You humiliated me in front of David. You made me look like an idiot. I humiliated you, I said calmly. Rebecca, you used my credit card to book a romantic weekend with your ex-boyfriend. Without asking. You just informed me you were doing it and expected me to smile and wave goodbye. And now you're mad because there were consequences? It wasn't romantic, she insisted. How many times do I have to tell you that? Then why did you book a couple's resort? Why a king suite? Why not separate rooms at a Holiday Inn? She didn't have an answer for that. You know what the worst part is? I continued. You didn't even ask. You just took my card, made all these plans, and then told me about it like I didn't have a choice, like I'm just an ATM. You can pull money from whenever you want. That's not fair, she said, her voice breaking. I've never thought of you that way. Really? When's the last time you paid for anything? Rent? Groceries? Dinner? When's the last time you took me out and treated me to something nice? She opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. I make less money than you. You know that. I'm not talking about splitting things 50-50. I'm talking about effort, about thoughtfulness, about not using my money to fund a weekend with your ex. She started crying, real tears streaming down her face. I thought you loved me. I thought you'd understand. I do love you, I said. Or I did. But I don't think you love me. I think you love what I provide. The apartment, the dinners, the financial security, but me? I don't think you've ever really seen me as a partner, just a resource. That's not true, she sobbed. Then prove it, I said. Move out. Get your own place, pay your own bills, and if after 6 months you still want to be with me, actually be with me, not just benefit from me, we can talk. But right now, I need you gone. She stared at me, mascara running down her cheeks. You're breaking up with me? I'm giving us space to figure out what this relationship actually is. If it's even a relationship at all. She grabbed her bag and left. Didn't say another word, just walked out and slammed the door behind her. I sat there for a long time after she left, staring at the muted TV. A school of fish swam across the screen in perfect synchronization. I unmuted it and kept watching. Update 3. It's been 3 weeks. Rebecca moved in with Monica temporarily, according to a text she sent me 5 days after the breakup. She asked if we could meet up to talk things through. I declined. She's texted me a few more times since then. Apologies, justifications, promises to change. I haven't responded to most of them. The only one I replied to was when she asked if she could come by to pick up some things she'd left behind. I told her I'd boxed everything up and she could coordinate with the building manager to pick it up when I wasn't home. Through mutual friends I'm reconsidering now, I heard that Rebecca and David are not together. Apparently, the disastrous motel weekend killed whatever rekindled spark they thought they had. David told people Rebecca was too high maintenance, and that he dodged a bullet by not getting back with her. The irony is almost funny. Rebecca, meanwhile, has been posting cryptic Instagram stories about toxic people and knowing your worth. I haven't looked at them directly. A friend sent screenshots, but the fact that she thinks she's the victim in all this tells me everything I need to know. I've spent the last 3 weeks reevaluating a lot of things. How much I gave in that relationship without asking for anything in return. How many times I ignored red flags because I wanted to believe we were solid. How I equated generosity with love, when really I was just making it easy for her to take advantage. My bank closed the fraud case in my favor. The charges were reversed. I got my $1,400 back. Rebecca will probably see that when she checks her email. I'd forwarded her the hotel confirmation when she first booked it. I wonder if she'll reach out about that too. I doubt I'll respond if she does. Last week, I went on a date. Her name's Jordan. We matched on Hinge. She's a physical therapist, runs her own practice, pays her own bills. On our first date, when I offered to pay for dinner, she said, "How about we split it?" I like keeping things equal from the start. I could have hugged her right there. We're going out again this weekend, somewhere low-key. She suggested a taco place she loves and insisted on getting the first round of drinks. It's refreshing. It's healthy. It's what I should have had all along. Final update. It's been 6 weeks since Rebecca left. I haven't heard from her in about 10 days, which feels like progress. The last text she sent was asking if I'd thought about giving us another chance. I finally responded, "No. I've moved on. I think you should too." She didn't reply to that. I ran into David last week at a coffee shop downtown. He was with some woman I didn't recognize. He saw me, looked uncomfortable, and quickly turned away. I don't think he ever knew the full story of what happened. I don't care enough to tell him. Monica, Rebecca's friend, texted me a few days ago. She apologized for enabling Rebecca's behavior and admitted she'd thought the whole closure trip was insane from the beginning. She said Rebecca's been struggling financially since moving out. Turns out I was covering way more of her expenses than I'd even realized, and that she's had to pick up extra freelance work just to afford rent. Monica said she hopes Rebecca learns from this. I told her I appreciated the message but that I needed distance from that entire situation. She understood. Jordan and I are still seeing each other. It's been about a month now, and it's the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. We communicate. We split expenses. We respect each other's boundaries. Last week she asked if I wanted to meet her parents next month when they visit from out of town. I said yes. That's what a real relationship looks like. Partnership, respect, reciprocity. I've learned a lot from this mess. I've learned that generosity without boundaries isn't love, it's enabling. I've learned that trust isn't the same as blind faith. I've learned that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is walk away from someone who doesn't value you. Rebecca taught me what I don't want. Jordan is teaching me what I do. And that $1,400 I got refunded? I used it to book a weekend trip for Jordan and me next month. A real trip. With someone who actually wants to be with me, not just benefit from me. Closure, it turns out, doesn't require a romantic weekend at a resort. Sometimes it just requires a phone call to your bank and the self-respect to know when you're done. Edit. People keep asking if I feel bad about reporting the charges as fraud. I don't. She used my card without explicit permission for that specific purpose. That's the definition of unauthorized use. If she'd actually asked, not just informed me, maybe things would have gone differently. But she didn't. She assumed. And that assumption cost her a relationship. Edit 2. For everyone saying I should have just talked to her first instead of canceling the card, I did talk to her. By text. She told me she was going on a trip with her ex using my money and expected me to be fine with it. That was the conversation. The card cancellation was my response. Sometimes actions speak louder than words.